This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Hey, there we go. Obviously, Carl Pinedo has a problem hearing. That'll cost him eventually. All right, Omar. So where are you that you got to be masked up, dude? What's the deal there?
I'm in an Uber in Indianapolis. Headed on my way to the convention center at the Combine. Just got off my flight to from Miami. So here doing my Combine thing.
Damn, dude, that's dedication right there, bro. There you go. All right. So good Uber. Is he driving fast? Is he? Well,
Yeah,
is he? Yeah. Okay. All right. Good. All right. There you go.
fast
Is
and
it
safe.
cold? How
No,
cold
it's
is it
not.
over there?
Nah, it's
It's
about
nice.
50, 55. It's decent. It's not
Oh,
as long as it's not snowing, I'm good.
dude, 55 is like hot and humid there, bro. At this
Yeah, it
time of year,
is.
you're
Yeah,
good.
I got my winter jacket on and I'm burning up here.
All right. So, what free agents are you chasing this week? So, what? Because yeah, the underwears and everybody's running around and all that other stuff. But you and I know the real dirty stuff is going on behind the scenes for free agency during this week. So,
Yeah,
what is Omar Kelly focused in on this week on free agency? What do you think the Dolphins are targeting?
I think first you have to have an understanding about what type of team Mike McDaniel wants and was trying to build. And people, I've been so focused on trying to learn his origins and his roots because what you don't understand is your origin and your roots kind of dictate what you like and what your makeup is and how you've evolved and how you've grown. Who you've learned under. What I do know is they're going to run a West Coast based offense. Primarily, it's just the language. They're going to run a zone blocking scheme, primarily a wide zone blocking scheme, but they're probably not going to be wide if they don't have the athletes to handle it. So that means that they're going to just basically be shopping for a couple of pieces on the offensive line. They're going to be adding a running back who I don't know. Depends on who the scheme is. Depends on basically who fits their scheme, and just figuring out
Is
at
there
this point.
Omar? Is there a free agent running back that fits that scheme that you're talking about right now? Just out of curiosity.
I think Melvin Gordon would fit the scheme, but I'm not necessarily certain that spending that money, the history of what Mike McDaniels is from, says that I can get, it's a back by committee approach, and I can get a back with the fourth pick, and I don't necessarily have to need a stud. I mean, when they went to the Super Bowl, they did it riding a Dolphins practice squad back in Mozart, who happens to be a free agent. So just figuring out what it is that they need, what it is that they're looking for. Obviously, new coaches always want to add some coaches with familiarity with them so that they can come lead the way. So a Lakin Tomlinson, a Mozart, look at guys who are free agents with the 49ers, try to figure out exactly what is this coach trying to establish in year one.
Omar, since you're doing a lot of that studying, I think you've noticed obviously in his lines, pulling is like a common thing that happens in that line. Currently, who are the guys that you feel fit that? And is there a guy that you would be worried about that does not fit this? Because you've got to be pretty athletic at times to run some of the schemes that he wants you to run.
Yeah, you have to be athletic, but you also if it doesn't have to, it doesn't require five athletic guys, is what I'm told. You could
Right.
have three athletes and two plotters. So Lakin Tomlinson is not the most athletic guy, but he made it work in San Francisco. So I'm interested to see where that goes, and I'm sure a lot of it is dependent on what they're asking for, what the money is, who else is in play. As free agency is a moving target. So I don't. I think they're going to be players that are on the trade block. Byron Jones, Devontae Parker, See, and the Dolphins will probably see where they stand with those players. Is there a market? I think the Dolphins are also in the market for players for players who are tradable. So the Amari Coopers, the Calvin Ridleys. So it'll be interesting to see what comes of this combine in terms of you know how it works. How you introduced me to it, the cigar bars and the drinking holes. What comes out of those spots?
Yeah, a lot of information. Oh, I'm missing it. I'll be back next year in the mix with all that stuff. Anyway, this will be the first year in a couple of years that I think you'll actually see coaches maybe out in the bars because the last 2 years I doubt
Yeah, I
I
don't
doubt a lot of people. I doubt a
mhm,
lot of people were hitting the streets in Indy, dude. The last 2 years, right?
the streets. But yeah, this is and not only that, but also from what I understand, they've trimmed down the player interviews. Players are only there for basically 48 hours. And so they do one day of interviews as opposed to, when players used to do like 3 days of interviews. So
Right.
a lot of these teams are going to hit it and quit it, locked in and focused. But, the agents are, for those who don't know, the combine is about agents meeting with teams and organizations and selling their players, and talking, discussing price and negotiating. So that stuff is still going to get done.
Yeah, that and medicals. That's really what
Yes.
the fan thinks it's about the 40 and
Yeah.
all that other
That's,
crap, and that's the least of their concerns when it comes to the NFL people. They're like, yeah, I don't really care about that, dude. It's like
yeah.
that's what people don't realize that the origins of the combine were really about the medicals and meetings. That's really what all the other fluff stuff just kind of developed, but really it was all about a centralization, a place where everybody could go and then get all the medicals and everybody could then, get the same information and then move on. That's really what the
Yeah.
combine was all
The,
about.
the 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 league turned it into a dog and pony show, which is what
Right.
they call it. The dog and pony show for draft prospects. And these draft prospects think it's like the end all be all, and they spend 3 months and $10,000 training to prepare themselves for this. And while all of it is important, it'll come into play maybe in April. But the reality is, March free agency comes before the draft, and free agency will dictate what these teams do in the draft.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. And by the way, you enlightened me on something. I did not know that they minimized it for players now that because remember, like they were there the whole week, all
Yeah.
5 days, 6 days, and every day it's like to 11, 12 o'clock that you've done meetings and it's one after another and they're really worn out. So it kind
Yeah.
of so they kind of burn them out in a really short window and then they're out. I did not know that now. That's
Yeah.
actually really good for them. That's really good for them, actually.
No, actually, I hear players are not real because they do everything, every test, everything but the medical and the media is done in one day. So they'll go
Oh,
on the
what I
field.
mean, Omar, what I mean by is that mentally, by 5, 6 days of doing it, you're burnt out by the end. That I'm sure the process kind of gets old in those back end days, and maybe you're not at your best in the interview or anything. But if you're doing it in a 2 day window, you can expend all your energy there and then move on. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. That maybe in the big picture might be better for the players to just hit it in a short window and then out. Because man, a week that's a burnout, dude. You've seen it. You've been around those guys. They're
Yeah, man.
toast by the end of the week. Toast, toast.
The only thing is they're not going to be able to talk to as many players as they would have liked.
Okay.
Talk to as many teams as they would like. From what I was told, and I have not confirmed this, each player is probably going to meet with 16 teams officially, and probably four will sneak in and sneak a meeting. So about 20 teams, which leaves still you don't get an opportunity to really spend time with probably about 1/3, if not 1/4, of the prospects that are here.
Yeah, that's why the East West, the
Yeah,
NFLPA, and the
no,
Senior Bowl.
that's exactly right.
That's why they're so important. And the
Hmm.
HBCU also, all of those
Yeah,
other bowl games, it's so important for you to get all your interviews there and then finish off in the combine. You should be able to get all your guys. But then again, as you and I know, there's also the smoke and mirrors where there's a couple guys you really like and you don't interview really
yeah,
because
no,
scouts behind the scenes gathered all the information they needed and they feel confident enough and they don't want to throw any, attention to a certain guy or
yep,
two. So that game is also being played
absolutely.
too. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
that
So
is
that's
that is a very important game that you just mentioned.
yeah.
It's there's a cat and mouse game about this whole process. I really I watch the Dolphins do their little McDaniel's and Greer where we worked well together. Song Pony and Dance show, and what really bothered me about that conversation was you get the cliche I want guys that love football, and I think that's the I'm so tired of hearing that after 15 years. What you should really want is you should really want guys who are phenomenal football players, guys who are great leaders, guys who inspire their locker room. I'm a little bit cold and jaded about guys who love football because we've seen it's never stopped you before in terms of guys who love football. You if somebody like Isaiah Wilson, who the Dolphins traded for, how much did he love football before the Dolphins, traded for him last year? So right now, I definitely want to see difference makers. You got Jalen Waddle, you got Jalen Phillips, you got Javon Holland. Those are difference makers, and that's really what you need to focus on in terms of adding to your team.
I'm with you there. All right. Uh, just out of curiosity, is there a free agent already that you're targeting or two that you think the Dolphins are already interested in, Omar?
Yeah, I did have some interest in free agents about offensive line, but their makeup is sort of dictating what you need to look for. So we're starting from scratch. So it's very going to be interesting to see what the possibilities are in terms of um, what they based on what they're building, what's available. So I think it's a little too early to tell. We sit down and we talk to Mike McDaniel today, and then he talks to all of the combine tomorrow. So after that, I'll probably have a better indication of what's what.
All right, beautiful. We'll talk to you on Friday. We'll see what you've been able to gather after being there for a couple of days, besides a steak from St. Elmo's. So hopefully
Yeah,
we'll
I
get that.
believe I believe you were the first person who did the St. Elmo's cocktail trick on me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I,
Those
I, I
eyes of
believe that.
yours lit up like a stop sign. It was
Yes,
a beautiful
I
thing.
believe that. Yeah, this is my partner, David Furonis' first trip. I'm definitely going to make him have the St. Elmo's cocktail and then enjoy myself.
Yeah, but see, here's where we screwed up. We now told Sean, and now I can't fool Sean on it. So it's like it sucks. So because I really wanted to go ahead, Sean, dig into that shrimp cocktail, bro. Go ahead and watch your
The
this light up, bro. Because
yeah,
it feels like there's a ton of wasabi inside that sauce, dude. Because it just opens up your sinuses, man. It's a beautiful thing. All right, take pictures of David Furonis taking that first bite, please. Take
all
a
right,
video of it. All right.
all right,
All
man.
right.
Talk to you later.
Much love, brother. Be good. There you go, the great Omar Kelly and our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. And it's nice to have all these guys in the combine. So they all got there now. So later on in the week, we will get all their information. And remember, also on Saturday, okay? Because we have a show on Saturday, 11 to 1, as we're out there for the Tyler Van Dyke signing at Caneswear. Remember to get out there to Caneswear.
This is the Big O Show.